Hey, how's it going, guys? This is going to be my entry into the Never Enough Ammo $300 zombie gun build. The idea behind this is you've got $300 to spend, and you got to get some kind of firearm for zombies, and the idea is to do the craziest, coolest stuff you can do inside of that budget. So first, let's start off. What I ended up getting was a KELTEC Sub 2000. This one takes Glock magazines. It's in 40 Smith & Wesson, and it's a first generation gun. Now, full disclosure, I work at an FFL, and I took advantage of the discount on this. It was used, so I got it for what we took it in for, which was 220 bucks. And this is what I'm going to go with. I think zombie apocalypse, PCC is about perfect. You don't need a whole lot of range. You don't need, the full ballistics of a rifle caliber. They're not wearing body armor. They're not going to shoot back at you. So I think a 40 round would be more than ideal for popping heads at 100 yards, which is, about where these things are king. So quick note on the practicality. Lots of police departments still use 40 caliber Glocks, so you're going to be able to scab magazines and ammunition for this pretty easily. So let's get into the meat of it. So first off, you think zombie gun, you got to have a bayonet. You should probably have a flashlight. The larger problem is with a KELTEC first generation sub 2K, you've got no way to put any of that stuff on there. So what I did was I went out and I got a little piece of 1913 rail adapter with a little 45-degree offset rail piece, and I had to mount this onto the handguard. I'm probably going to replace this with the Red Lion one eventually, so I'm not too worried about this, but I did want it to be solid and I did want it to be actually usable. So what I did was I split this handguard apart, and the bottom ½ inch has 2-part epoxy in there, and then I drilled through that and sanded it flush so they go back together. And then I sunk this through with a locking washer and a nut on the backside, so this is actually really, really strong. It held up to me stabbing the ground with it at least, so hey, I'll take that. Next problem was I didn't have a bayonet, but for $11 I got this MTEC. This is like a K-bar clone. It's a spear point. For 11 bucks it's not terrible, but for sticking heads it'll do. So problem number 2 solved. I had something I could use as a bayonet. Problem number 3 was I was just going to put a scope ring on this and mount it to that, but I would have had a blade length about that far off the muzzle, and that's not really going to do anything. So I had to get this out there, and I was brainstorming how I could possibly do that without interfering with the barrel here. And I thought, offset mount, cantilever mount. So that's what I use. This is a Monstrum Tactical. This is a 1-inch base, and this clamped right on there, and then this is flush against the back of this. And it actually turned out really, really stable. This mount was, I think, $22. So yeah, that solved that problem. So now we have our bayonet on our KELTEC. So that's step 2 out of the way. Next, I wanted a good light. At nighttime you're still gonna have to shoot them, so I went on Amazon and I found this WOWTAC, and this is a 600 lumen light. It's a parabolic flashlight, so you can adjust the focus. You can have a really wide angle, or you can zoom in and have just a small, at like 50 yards, it's like a 6-foot wide dot. And this is actually a pretty quality light for the 20 bucks I paid for it. Takes 18 650s. It's got a low, a high, and a strobe, which would be very useful. Maybe, maybe it'll disorient some zombies or some people, who knows. So yeah, there's the light. Of course, I couldn't end it there. I had a little bit of rail left over, so I threw this Blackhawk vertical grip on here just for stability. And I had it laying around. I forget how much I paid for this, but it wasn't that much, $10 or less. And so yeah, that kind of completed the front end of the rifle. Now there's nothing really going on back here except for the high cap magazines. But I didn't think I was quite done yet. So I had the idea that, since this is already such a light and handy rifle, why not add the ability to carry some gear on it? So I had these molly straps. I got these at a gun show. I got 10 or 15 of them in varying colors for I think $5. I thought, hey, why not? You know, you can mount your IFAK right here, or your first aid kit. You know, you can strap it to your bug out bag. You know, I just thought that'd be really handy. So what I ended up doing was, on the other side here, I had this Gerber knife laying around, and this is probably 15, 20 bucks. It's just a paracord wrap knife. So I went ahead and mounted it to the handguard. You know, that way, if you're running the rifle with one hand, you can have a knife in the left hand to, you know, get shit off of you. And that mounts up really nicely right there on the handguard. It's nice and stable. It's not going to fall off. And then, side note, on these MOLLE straps, there's no good way to mount those. So what I ended up doing was I just taped the ever-loving shit out of it, and it's solid now. So yeah, guys, this is my zombie rifle. I hope you like it. Look forward to seeing everybody else's. Have a good one, guys.